All right. Good evening, guys. Well, I had plans for another stream this evening, but it looks like the devil wins. Got to go with the most current updated news out there. And I will not take credit for this. This is all our friend Scott's breaking news about Chris Watts now being married, considered married. So I will show you Scott's video. If you don't follow him over, I will show you his page. And we are supposed to actually do a stream this week. So I am just like floored to see that he did a post today, which we're going to get into in a moment here. But he is the host of Crime Talk. And he came out today with some photos of Chris Watts' new wife. So I want to give credit where it's due, because as a former journalist, that's what you do. I will not steal pictures, take them, claim they're mine, claim that I took them, captured them, anything. And I hope that the other content creators do the same, because these photos have not been released until today. So first I'm going to pull up Scott's page so that you can go take a look at his page and follow him, because that's what you do as a content creator. You give credit where it's due. So this is Scott's page up on the screen here. Let's take new wifey Lizzie's picture down for a moment here. And this is Scott's page. Go follow him. He has been covering the Watts case since it took place. I am scheduled to speak with Scott this week. We are supposed to actually talk on the 13th and do a live stream for you guys on my channel. He's going to be on here as a guest. We are trying to figure out a time, because at that time I'm also doing my infusion. We'll get it figured out though. So Scott's page, please go follow him. Now we are going to play a short clip of something I want to show you from a couple, almost 2 years back, but I know what you want to see. You want to see her photo. So let's take a look. Photo credit goes to Crime Talk. I'm assuming that Scott hired a PI of some sort to go out and get this. This is Chris's new squeeze, new wifey. And why we're calling her a wifey is we see this wedding band. Most women, when they're engaged, only have one band on. And we're seeing two in this photo. So you're hearing Chris has a matching tattoo. Could be. So I want to show a little bit behind how we all know this is true. I've been trying to kind of track this down for 2 years now. I never wanted to dox the woman, but if she's going by the name Watts now, last name Watts, then clearly she has no problem people knowing her business. So we're going to go ahead and call her Lizzie Watts. So this is a video I want to show you really quick that I did last year when I filed an open records request on this. A response to a records request I put in months ago in the Chris Watts case. I reached out to Dodge Correction to ask who has been on Chris Watts's visitors list as of recent. And I got that today. I will kind of put up on the screen. I'm going to be honest with you, I blocked out this person's last name because I'm not calling them out. It's not what I do. If you want to request your own reports, you can. And so taking a look at this, I put a request in to see who has been visiting Chris for the year of 2025. However, what I got back shows that there is a person who has been visiting him by the name of Lizzie. And I do not see any family members on this list. So there's that. A lot of you have been asking, does he have a girlfriend? This to me looks like there is a girlfriend. I don't know. Could this be a journalist? Yes. Could this be someone who's writing a book? Absolutely. I don't want to speculate, but there is a female who has been visiting Chris, and they will spend hours with him. One of the visits was 3:04 p.m. to 6:05 p.m. One was 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. One was 3 o'clock to 6:12 p.m. So I don't know, even if this person may have some type of legal background. This is a visitor. I don't believe attorneys need to sign in on the visitor log. That's what I have here, you guys. And I thought it was very ironic. Okay, so I'm going to stop that there because a lot of this is kind of older information. And since then, I have been able to confirm information. So you are absolutely right. I really don't care if people believe me about this or not, but Cindy and Ronnie have known about this girlfriend for a long time now. They have known he wanted to get married to her, and they urged him not to do it because it's disrespectful to Shanann's family. For those of you who say they're terrible people, she's a narcissist, all of these horrible things people say about Ronnie and Cindy, they asked Chris not to do this. And I want to be clear with that. There's another creator on another channel that I can't mention because I'll get in trouble, but you can go watch that person for yourself if you can't figure it out on your own. Rumble is a hint. If you can't figure it out, you can email me and I'll help you out. Has spoken extensively with the Watts family, and they have urged Chris not to do this, not to get married. They said it is disrespectful. They have said it is not fair to Shanann's family because Shanann is no longer here. And she can't get remarried, so you should not be able to get married either. So please do not do this. For what it's worth. Don't have to believe that. That's your choice. But I'm just sharing the information that I was given by another content creator close to the family. So let's kind of get into all of this. Scott is the one who was able to get these photos. Again, I'm not going to take credit for it. Please go over to Crime Talk and follow Scott, and hopefully we will be getting our stream together on August 13th. And we're going to talk about all of this bombshell of a new fiance. So yes, welcome in. So I filed an open records request. I feel like it's been 2 years. I'm going to show you. Anyone can do this. You do not have to be a journalist. You do not have to have any special background to do this. Let's go over this. I want to show you. You can do it on your own too. You go to Dodge Corrections website and you're going to see all types of information on the website, blah, 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 right? Scroll down and click on public records requests. You're going to make your own account. You're going to enter your email address, your name, yes, your legal name, everything, because these are legal and binding documents. Sometimes you're going to sign your names over for certain things, depending on where you live. For example, Nicole Kessinger was arrested in Aurora, Colorado. I have that mugshot, but I cannot share it with you. This was way back in the day when she was a juvenile. I can't share that photo with you because I signed my name saying I will not monetize and I will not distribute this photo. So I'm following the law and not doing that. If you go dig around online, you can find it yourself. Or you can go yourself to the Aurora, Colorado open records request. And you can do this in any county you live in, guys. I'm not special. I'm just someone who learned this from working in a newsroom, working as a journalist. But the general public has the right to do this. You pay tax dollars to do this. So this is where I went to do the open records request. I think I did police reports, and you're going to have the person's name, date of birth, blah, 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 blah. So you gather all that information, and legally they have to give it to you. So just take that for what it's worth. If you ever want to search anyone's criminal background, you know someone got arrested, that's how you do it. So, Olga, my God, we have a bombshell for you. So that's how you do an open records request. I want to show what I was able to obtain. I was able to get Chris's updated mugshot. And before we do that, I'm going to go find the mugshot. It's dug on my desktop somewhere, but let me really quickly play you the short video I made where I'm giving Scott credit, because like I said, it is important that we do that as content creators. You always should be giving credit to the person who's putting the money down to get things done. And I can tell you, this took a private investigator. Definitely. Hold on. I don't know why, but this is like a delayed log. Hold on, let me remove it and add it to the stage again. Sorry about that. What do we got here? Okay, now we got what we need. Okay. Do we? I don't think we do. Stand by. I'm really sorry, guys. I literally slapped all this together really fast as soon as I saw Scott's video drop. All right. So stand by. I'm going to play this while I look for the mugshot of Chris that I have. That's the most recent one. The wife is now. So I'm scheduled to do a stream at some point this week with Scott, and he just dropped a bombshell today that Chris Watts is married. Whether it is a legal binding or not, it appears the wife is now going by the last name Watts. Honestly, I didn't want to dox her name, but I have had logs since 2 years ago of this woman visiting Chris. Yes, her name is Lizzie and has now changed her last name to Watts. So take a look at Scott's recent video. I will keep you updated on a time that we're supposed to collaborate and talk this week. And at the end of this video, you'll hear him talk about the eyewitness. I have that interview with the girl, Lisa, who witnessed the two of them having this weird makeout session.
First story, why we started covering it. Children, an unborn child has decided it's time to move on, and he's getting married. Please meet not only one of the most notorious killers in America, he now has a new wife. So it is being reported that Chris Watts is in a relationship with a 39-year-old realtor who relocated from Ohio to Wisconsin to be closer to his cell at the Dodge Correctional Institution. Henderson and Watts have applied to marry with the prison system, and that she has already begun by going by Lizzie Watts. I guess you're holding yourself out as common law married. Anyway, Henderson is already behaving like she is a married woman. Now, the pair have also apparently become increasingly physical, with prison visit logs showing that Henderson is a frequent visitor at the maximum security prison. And during one visit back in August of last year, an eyewitness apparently reported them engaged in a pretty steamy makeout session just one day after the 7th anniversary of the gruesome killings. So now, for those who don't recall,
So I'm scheduled to do a stream at some point this week with... Sorry. Okay. So, yeah, Olga. Yeah. Yes, he is off death row, and he gets exactly what the monster wanted. A new life. He got a new life. I want to show you another video when we were talking about the open records request. I did an open records request in 2023, and this is that video of the most updated mugshot of Chris Watts. Of Chris Watts, taken in 2023, as you can see. So here is one of the most recent mugshots of Chris Watts, taken in 2023. As you can see, he is smiling. Some people told me that they have not seen the most recent mugshot, so I just made a video about it. There you go. So here it is. So, yeah. So that is the most recent mugshot. If you have not seen it, I did an open records request a month ago just to ask, is there a updated mugshot for 2024, 25, or 26? This is the response I got. And it's saying the request does not exist. Updated mugshot. And then it puts the dates that I put asking for an updated mugshot. So that means Chris has not taken a new photo op since. During that request, I did a visitation request, and this is what we got. And like I said, originally I did not dox her last name, but if she's going by Lizzie Watts, she doesn't care. So these are all the visitations. And as Scott said, I did some digging. Yes, she was originally from Ohio. She moved to Wisconsin to be closer to Chris. So let's take a look at some of these dates. And you'll remember I did an interview with a woman who said she was visiting someone in Dodge and she bumped into Chris. I can play that interview at the end of this video if you like. Also, while I have your attention on this case, we're getting a lot of people jumping in now. I want to take 2 seconds to mention that the victims in this case, Shanann, Nico, Bella, and Cece, are the main focus. If this story has touched you in any way, please consider donating to the Lupus Research Foundation, because that was very important to Shanann, or the Missing and Exploited Children Foundation, because those are the folks who get involved when children are missing. They jump into action and help. And I, of course, added the breastcancer.org for myself and National MS Society. You donate to those directly. There's no foundation in Shanann's name. If you see one, it's fake. Report it immediately. Beautiful family. Monster did not deserve them. Didn't deserve them. Just sick. And also, in the wake of everything that happened with Perez Hilton this week, while I have your eyes, this is a phone number you can call if you're having thoughts of harming yourself, feeling depressed and down, and you need someone to talk to. This is free. 988 is a crisis lifeline. So, getting back to what we were talking about, the open records requests. Okay, so let's take a look. Lizzie starts coming in hot around the beginning of the year. Visiting him on the 25th. What's weird is these visits are a little out of order too. Visiting from 3 to 6. 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. On the 1st, she was there from 10:25 to 1 p.m. Right? Unbelievable. Someone wrote, maybe she's going to write a book. There is speculation that this is all a setup. However, after talking and doing an interview with Lisa, who saw them at Dodge, it doesn't sound like a setup, because they were very intensely making out. So if this is a setup, then she's really playing it hot. So that's Lizzie. That is her ring. So clearly, Chris had some money on his books, right, to get her that, and told her to go pick something out. Just sick. I'm trying to watch my language. I really am. And for those of you just joining in, I wanted to reiterate, the Watts family urged him against this because they said it is not fair, it is disrespectful to your wife, and you should not have the right to remarry because she does not have that right. So please do not do this. Obviously, he did not follow the guidance of parents and did it. Shocker, right? I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Are you shocked? I'm not. Chris does what Chris wants to do because he's a freaking narcissist. So, oh yeah, that's a case. Yeah, that's a case we'll have to cover. Yeah, anaphylaxis. Disgusting. It's just freaking gross. So here's some things I want to talk about with this. I interviewed a woman named Lisa, who is very hesitant to go out and say that she didn't meet him. Okay. She wasn't like, hi, Chris, or any shit like that. She was visiting a family friend at Dodge Correction. And one thing you need to know about Dodge, it is not a place where they hold the worst of the worst criminals. I mean, they do, but it's also an intake jail. That means anyone, no matter what charge you did, if it's a drug charge, drug dealing, let's be honest, in the big scheme of things, that's really not a big deal. If you just didn't pay like 500 traffic tickets, you would go here. They take you here. Then they decide where you're going after. They might send you to a different system. So, yes, the jacket shows who she's working for. And in a few minutes, I am going to search to see if she has. I don't know if I'll do that publicly because I don't want people to message her. I don't know. I'm debating. I don't think I should do that. But anyway, you guys can go, I guess, be your guest to go search that. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to type her name in. So go ahead and do that. I don't want to be responsible for it. I don't want any harm on this woman at all. But when you change your last name to Watts, you're asking for it. You're asking for people to pay attention to you. So yeah, just made my decision. I'm not doing it. I'm not searching her website. I'm sure she has one. I'm sure she does. And you know what? I'm going to say this, and you all might not agree with it, but I honestly pray for this woman's safety. I do. I pray that she is able to go show houses. Honestly, in the name of God, I hope this woman has protection, because God forbid something happens to her where someone books a showing with her and is so angry about what Chris did and tries to harm her. I'm sure every day of her life she's worried about that. And we don't want that. We don't. So, I'm sure she knows what to do. I'm sure she follows certain ways of life with these decisions she has made to marry Chris Watts. I'm a little irritated that it seems like they were hiding this for quite some time, but here we are on the anniversary this week. It's going to be August 13th. And I feel like she's not hiding anymore. She's out in the public. She's open. And I feel like she was being more private and quiet. And now all of a sudden we have a photo of her. Again, Crime Talk is who I'm crediting for that photo. I did not take it. Credit goes where it's due, always, for content creators. Please go follow Scott over on Crime Talk. And like, if you're just joining this stream, he and I are going to be going live on the 13th. I'm just trying to figure out a time. He wants to go live right when my kids come home from school, and that's going to be difficult. If I have to do it, I'll do it. But I'd prefer to do it at 9 p.m. But we will let you know what time we're going live. So, Lizzie. Okay, let's go back and look at the visitor logs. Okay. Notice there's no visitation from anyone but Lizzie. Ronnie, Cindy, Jamie have not come to see him. So we have visitations on 12/25. Christmas, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. On the 30th. Is that Thanksgiving or is that the 28th? I can't remember. 10 a.m. Ooh, that's a short visit. 10 a.m. to 12. Well, almost 1 o'clock. Kind of short visit. Some of these are like crazy long visits. 11-2. And then you'll notice they start getting more frequent when she moves there, because remember, before she was in Ohio, so she was probably staying, right? She was probably staying up in a hotel when she was living in Ohio and traveling back and forth. Okay, 8:21 and 9:14, 10 a.m. to 1. Yeah, see, okay, so when we get further down here, you can kind of see there's a little more distance. Like you have July and you have June and you have May. And you have a lot here. Looks like she probably stayed the weekend, the 25th, 26th, and 27th, right? Like she came. Now I just kind of want to see if the dates aligned with a weekend visit. Okay, we're going to the 25th of, what is it, January? No, it's February. March? It's March 3rd. The 26th, 27th, and 28th. Nope, we have the 20. Okay, we have 25, 26, 27. That is actually a Tuesday through Thursday. So she must have just decided to take a 3-day trip to visit him. There's a second page of the visitation log. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, here we go. We have some visitation from 2023. So check out the dates here. 2025, 2024. Are you seeing a little bit of a difference here where we have family visiting and then we have family not visiting anymore? So, gonna just check comments real quick. Oh, Lord, no, Cowboy. I'm gonna show you who the bride is. This is our bride. This is our bride. Credit for this goes to Scott with Crime Talk. This is our ring. That looks like a really nice ring. So, Cowboy, you will be great for me to ask this question to. I wish I could figure out how to just add you up to panel real quick, but yeah. Can you answer this question for me, Cowboy? If Chris has money on his books, can he transfer it to his girlfriend? Well, okay, wife now. Can he transfer funds? And the reason I'm asking Cowboy, guys, is he worked in the prison system. He was not in prison, just to make it clear. No offense to anyone who was. You know, some people have a past, no big deal. But Cowboy RC, go follow him if you don't. He worked in the system and has a really good background knowledge on all of this. And I've done a stream with him in the past, and we need to do one again, but he's had surgery recently. So, Cowboy, let me know. Would he be able to take money off the books to buy the new wifey a ring? Could he give her money and say, go pick yourself out, whatever you want? And someone also mentioned the tattoo. It does look like there's I can't tell if it's a tattoo or a birthmark, but it could be a tattoo. It could be like a weird little, it looks like maybe a little heart that the two of them did, maybe matching hearts. Just messed up. Nope. Okay. It prevents money laundering. Great. Great answer. So, RC, that means she took her own money then, I guess, and she bought herself her wedding ring. She just wanted a rock a diamond. I can't tell you if it's real or not, but she bought herself a ring. And she's calling herself Mrs. Watts. Okay, let's go back to the visitation list. As you see, this is from 2023. Now, he moved to Dodge and sorry, I'm stretching, guys. I did not plan to go live tonight. But when we got news to share, we do. So he moved in 2028 after sentencing, November time after sentencing. And so those past records did show that the Watts family was visiting him. You see here on April 2nd, Ronnie visited. On April 9th, Candace visits. Cindy Watts visits on the 14th, and Ronnie comes back on the 14th as well. Another question for you, RC. I'm so glad you're in my chat today. Can Ronnie and Cindy share visitation time? Yes, Olga, pawn that ring. Pawn it. Just pawn it. Thank you for doing that, RC. I really appreciate you. You know I'm all about facts. I don't like to play games. I want to be factual. So, what's wrong with this woman? I don't have the answer to that. I will not be surprised if she ends up doing an interview sometime soon to explain how she's able to move past what he did. RC, well, I have you here. Can Ronnie and Cindy visit Chris at the same time? Or is it one visitor per person at a time? I believe so. It's a family visit time versus lawyer clergy. So, May 5th, May 25th, Emily Marshall, no idea who's that. And I know a lot of the names in this case, let me tell you. Cindy visits a couple times in June. Janelle, I believe that was one of the girlfriends. Okay. Here's where it gets good. So he's talking, whoever Janelle is, I don't know who that is. If anyone, knows, I really don't recall that being one of the girlfriends, a family member, or what the deal is. But if it is a girl, Lizzie should be a little concerned because she came on the 24th. So that means that's kind of when things started going. She comes from 3 p.m. to 6:02 p.m. Cindy and Ronnie come shortly. Wow, not till September. He doesn't get another visitor. This is every visitor, guys, that he has. So, Ronnie and Cindy come back. She comes back September 25th, 11:20, 11:21. So, you have a very intense visitation going on in recent time. I did ask for an updated visitation list. I haven't gotten it yet from Dodge, but I'm not expecting anything different than what we're seeing right here. I think it's just going to be Lizzie. That's the word. The word is that he is the only person he talks to, visits with, any of that. So with that, I will keep you all updated on my planned live stream with Crime Talk with Scott. I guess what I will do is close with my interview with the girl who saw Chris in Dodge. And here's what I want to say. I have another couple pages of these. Lizzie visited Chris on 8/13 of 2025. So that would be 14. It was 8/14. And it looks like also on 9/14. So I have like a couple more pages of this, but it's the same shit. It's Lizzie. So I was able to verify that the woman I spoke to for this interview was there visiting someone else at the same time. Now, just to clarify, the person she was visiting was just there for intake. And like I said, Dodge is a intake for all inmates. They all go there. So if you commit a crime in Wisconsin, you are likely going to see Chris Watts because he is in general population now. He is not locked down. He's made the decision to put himself in general population because he wants to have a job and he wants to socialize. That has been his choice. Shockingly, yes, it's his choice to do that. So, stand by. I'm just looking for that interview I did with her. So I was able to verify that she did go visit someone on that date. The person she is visiting is no longer in Dodge Corrections. So she will never go back. She has no reason to go back. And I just, want to clarify that. All right. I found the stream that I'm going to play with you guys. And I want to apologize because there are some parts where you can't hear because connection issues. But anyway, I will leave this picture up throughout the live. I'll be here. I'll hang out. I'll check chat. I'll stop it and answer questions if I have to. But I'm going to go ahead and play the interview with Lisa, who is the person who had the encounter with Chris and saw this woman. Hold on, I'm looking for. Okay, sorry. I'm looking for the interview. I am looking for the raw interview that I did with her. She is Lisa, who said and explained to me everything that she witnessed when she was at Dodge. Just give me a moment to find the clip. Here we go. I found it. Sorry about that, guys. All right. You have questions, feel free to pop up and I'll answer them. All right. Add to screen. This is the second time I've done it this way on YouTube, so hopefully it will send you a copy as well when we're done. And I was just filling people in. So you had an experience where you kind of had a run-in with Chris Watts unexpectedly while you were visiting someone else at Dodge Corrections.
Yeah. So my video, I've posted it twice now and it's viral, and I'm just gonna kind of address the main
Absolutely.
comments that I was getting. I think it's like the main questions I'm receiving about it. So
Let's do it. Yeah.
so yes, I was in it.
And just to let you know, this interview was a month ago. I'm still in contact with Lisa. She's given me some updates because her and I have had questions for each other. If you have questions for her that I didn't ask, let me know, and I'm actually about to text her now and just be like, hey, I'm live if you want to join us and come up on panel and talk. But put your questions in chat, and I appreciate it.
Okay, so first is I waited to post about it. People are like, why didn't you post right away? We wanted to know this. And I thought there's a lot of reasons. First of all, there's the privacy aspect of the person that I was there to see. It's not my story to tell. Yes, I was there visiting somebody else. I just happened to see Watts while I was there. But I was really struggling with like what? Yeah. Yeah. I think there's like a sense of pride and ego you have to set aside as well as obviously if I saw him in person, that means that I was in the vicinity that he was in. So I was really struggling with, do I want to do this? And there was a moment of when I was sitting in the room, it was before my person came out. So their visit started before mine. And he's like literally the next row over from me and then like 2 chairs up. So 30 chairs in the room, 30 tables, not 30 chairs, 30 tables in the room. Everyone's visits happen at the same time. And all of the visitors face one direction, all the inmates face the other direction. So I'm sitting there, I'm waiting for my person to come out, and I was looking around because I always look around. And he's in front of me, and I'm like, what? I literally had a moment of like looking around the room to be like, does anybody else see him right here? Like, what is going on? Because, or maybe other people aren't following the case, but everyone else's visits had already started. So I'm the only one just sitting there like, what is happening right now? Like, I didn't know that the people that are staff there that like live there permanently, it's called staff when they're assigned to that vicinity, wherever they're assigned to, it's called staffed. So he's staffed there, and he was moved to Wisconsin for safeguarding because Wisconsin has like the least amount of like inmate on inmate crime. And so that's why he was
for them to keep him safe. I don't think a lot of people realize how a jail could get sued if someone is killed in jail, and that could be a huge lawsuit for a government to pay out. So keeping him safe is their top priority.
right.
And one thing I also, before I forget to mention, a lot of people don't know that Dodge is an intake prison. So
yes,
when you commit a crime in Wisconsin, Dodge Corrections is the first place you're going to go, and then they're going to decide, do we move you to a different facility because you have an illness and you need around-the-clock care, or
right.
do you have a mental health issue where you belong somewhere else? So
right. It doesn't matter what you did. If you're a male and you were sentenced to prison, you will go to Dodge no matter what. So what happens is crime is committed, they likely to jail in the county that they're arrested in, and then they do court in their county, and then as soon as court happens and they get sentenced, they go to Dodge. If they get more than a year of time, which is prison time, then you have to go to Dodge, like literally no matter what. Every single male does that in Wisconsin. So a lot of people asked me why I'll never go back there, because I did say in the video that I'll never see him again because I'll never go back to Dodge again. That's because the person that I was there to see was in Dodge for intake, and it took like 8 to 12 weeks, somewhere in there, to get staffed. And then the person that I was there to see got moved up out of there, so I will never need to go there again. And I went there multiple times to see my person in there, but this particular time was August 14th and he was there. And I remember looking around and being like, I don't think anybody like I'm in a really weird position right now. Like I have the capability of sharing this and I don't think anyone knows this. Like how would anybody know this unless they were in here? So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna figure out a way to share it. And it's every once in a while I think about it and I was like, I need to share it in a way that protects the person that I was there to see, their privacy, and also share the fact that I mean people want to know about stuff like this. So yeah, he has a girlfriend. She's biracial. She is a beautiful woman. And I mean, I guess I just have my opinions on the situation because it wasn't something I was expecting to see. He looks exactly the same as he did when he went in. Obviously, everyone knows what he looks like. He's got a receding hairline. His hair is gray.
Did he
I
look
wish I-
more relaxed to you? Because when I look at the most recent mugshots of him, there's something about him that looks like, and I hate to say this, it looks like a weight has been lifted off of his shoulders. He looks more
Yeah, I mean,
with
he
himself.
seemed pretty relaxed. So it was interesting because I followed the case so closely when it happened that I knew like every detail as it was being released. So seeing him in person and then my person came out who's sitting in front of me and Watts is like directly behind him. And the amount of times I'm like, and my person
Well,
is
how
like,
can you
can
not
you focus in? And
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's
do
hard
you
to
know
focus
what
in.
happened? And my person says, dude is, he said, I never interacted with him, but he's got a job. The other people really, really like him. He does stuff for other people. He's a nice guy. And I was like,
That's what I've heard.
don't care. No, I don't know how he's a nice guy. I mean, I don't know if he was like possessed or what happened to him during that time, but he seemed pretty normal. So, okay, when visitors go in there, they're the ones that have to like get the food and the drinks and warm everything up because the inmates are not allowed to get out of their spot.
Okay.
So they have to sit the whole time.
But
And
they're not like chained down or anything.
no cuffs, no nothing in there. So let me tell you the process.
You're sitting next to a quadruple murderer when you could be visiting someone who just dealt drugs. I mean, that's crazy.
Yes, there
crazy.
Any kind of crime in there. Yeah. So you could so what happens is you have to schedule your visit online to go see them. You have to get approved on the visiting list to schedule your visits. And then you come into the lobby, you can't bring anything in. You have to clear the metal detector. You have to take your shoes off to go through the x-ray machine and then lock up your keys and your ID. Your keys and your ID is the only thing you could bring in. And at Dodge, you could bring in quarters for the vending machine.
Okay.
So the Dodge is the only one that
I'm
allows
laughing
quarters.
because I don't know if you've seen the Monsters movie with the Menendez brothers, and they're like, "We need dimes." So
No, I
it's like-
didn't see that, but I should.
Okay. But yeah, it makes sense. It's like no money, no credit cards. Bring the quarters. Bring the dimes.
Well, Dodge is the only one that still has quarters, I think. Everyone else lets you bring in a credit card for the vending machines. But you can bring in like, I think $20 or $15 of quarters for something, whatever. Stuff is expensive, so you do need to bring that much. It's like $6 for.
Can you give them the quarters, or
No.
it's only while you're in that room you can buy them as much like snacks? Can they take snacks back?
No.
Or they have to consume it right there? Okay.
Yeah. The visitors can leave with the stuff. So the visitors can leave out with it. But you check in, you're in the lobby, and the lobby is detached from the rest of the prison. So you go in the lobby, you walk through, as soon as you're checked in, you get stamped on your hand like a blue light stamp. And then you go in, they have to buzz you in. like 3 different doors to get into the prison, which means
Sure.
when you leave out of the lobby, you leave out of a building and you walk through some gates that they have to buzz you through. I'm pretty sure the towers buzz you through these gates. And then you have to like walk up this long path to get to the visiting room. And you literally walk past part of the building where inmates are housed. And I did respond to your message. Can you go check out? So
And I'm
anyways.
sorry, Lisa's schedule's been really crazy. So even scheduling this
crazy.
was like really hard. My kids were in summer camp. You have kids too. So like we literally were
I
just
have a lot of
like
kids.
at this moment had the right timing and we're like, let's do it. So
Yeah. So when you go up into the building, you walk past the housing unit where the inmates are. And literally every single time that I was there would be inmates like hooting and hollering at me. Like, hey, can you put money on my books? And hey, ma, how you doing? And I'm like, oh my God, I can't even, like, I wouldn't even look. So then there's a gate there where they can just sit there and yell at you and you have to wait to be buzzed into this gate after you walk up this long path. And I'm like, oh my God, just let me in. So you get in that gate and then you have to go into the building and up some steps and then you're finally at the visiting room. The visiting room at Dodge is huge and they have like 6 vending machines in there and 1 microwave. And the vending machines are all on behind the inmates on that wall. So the visitors can look at the vending machines and the inmates look at the officer station. And then there's another officer station on the other side of the room, more vending machines where they have the drinks. So where I was sitting, it's like common courtesy. They don't tell you have to do this, but when you're in there, you shouldn't be like walking through all the tables. You should go to the end and then walk on the outside. So, and my person told me that, like, we don't walk through the tables. And I'm like, got it. That means I'm going to walk right past him because he was at the last row. So, I mean, he was in the next row over from me, so I had to walk past him anyways, and he was at the end of the row. So when I went over to the vending machines, I literally had to cut past him. And if he was wearing cologne or perfume or her, I would have been able to smell it. Like they were right there. They were reading a Bible verse when I walked past. And he was holding the Bible and he was very down into it and she was pointing at it. And I'm not a Bible reader, so I couldn't tell you what they were reading, but the Bible is the only thing that you're allowed to have. They have like games and cards.
Did he bring it in? Did he bring it to the visit?
No. The visiting room allows you to, like, it's in the visiting room.
So I just want to jump up here one more time. And while we got a lot of new random people coming in, I wanted to say I do not cover true crime cases just for the hell of it. I do it because if there's an opportunity to help people in any way, I do. And the victims in this are the focus. They do not have an organization set up for them. And if you would like to donate, you donate directly to some of these fundraisers. The family prefers people to donate to St. Jude, the lupusresearch.org, or the Missing and Exploited Children Foundation. You make these donations directly. You do not send me money to send to the organizations. That's not how this works. If you would like to also donate to a good organization for domestic violence, the Gabby Petito Foundation is fantastic. And I often try to donate to them every couple months. Like if someone gifts me or does a donation of a large amount of money, I go on the website live and make a donation to Gabby Petito Foundation because that family is really working in the community to help domestic violence victims, men or women, doesn't matter. So, but let's continue the interview. Just wanted to say that because I do see a lot of new names in here popping in, and you might be like, who's this person? What's her channel? What's she all about? My name is Jennifer. I'm a former journalist, spent 15 years here in Atlanta at CBS, Fox, and then moved to the Weather Channel and had to retire from television because I was diagnosed with first multiple sclerosis in 2021 and then breast cancer in 2023. I'm cancer free now. Woo! But that's the gist of my background. I like to request reports, do facts, do interviews. That's what we do on my channel. So if you're new here, subscribe, engage, be kind to each other in the comments. All right, let's continue with our interview. And if it's glitchy, sorry, we were doing this on mobile phone. So that's why.
Room. You can like go get it and bring it to your
like
table.
Rent a Bible, kind of. Okay.
Yeah. So there's like games in there, and like the visitors just go get those things and then bring it to the table. So when I got in there, their visit already started. So they already had the Bible. So I'm assuming that she grabbed it when she came in. So then the inmates, when they come in, they have to be strip searched before they can come in. And then when they leave out, they have to go through a metal detector and then strip searched again to go back into their cells. So
people bring drugs in and they shove it in areas we don't want to talk about.
Yeah. If an inmate has to go to the bathroom during a visit, they have to go up to the officer station, ask to go to the bathroom. They get stripped before going into the bathroom, and then they can come back to the table.
Wow. A lot of people were like, "Oh, I don't believe it. She's making it up." And it's like, well, first off, why would you pick this up? And I posted the dates of last year's visits that Chris Watts only had one visitor, and it was his girlfriend Lizzie. And you told me you were there on one of the dates, which is the bizarre part. It was the day you said after the murders took place, not 2019, but it was what, last year on
2018.
August 14th.
August 14th.
14th. So that's how I know she's telling the truth. And, because that's where I was like, shockingly, so many people are being very judgy of you sharing your story. But let's be honest, everyone's interested in it because he seemed so normal. And even like the way you're talking about him, people say he liked in prison. He's in general population now. I think a lot of people think he's on this lockdown, and that's not the case. And that is like so scary.
Part of the thing that I shared in any videos, exclusive, is so when you schedule your visit online, other people obviously are scheduling their visit at the same time. So that means that sometimes I'm walking in at the same time as other people and walking out. And there's like this long path you got to walk to get to the visiting room. So I'm talking to other visitors, and there's this one lady I remember talking to who her person was staffed there. So she's been coming there for like 6 years or something like that. And it was the next time I was there after he was there. And I was like, were you here the other day? Did you see Chris Watts up in there? She's like, oh, we've seen him lots of times. And she said, my husband says that he is the nicest person ever and he'll do anything for you and just the sweetest guy. And I was like, yeah, I can't wrap my mind around that. That's so weird. And then like I talked to the COs because I'm a talker, and there's always like a different CO in the front lobby checking you in. There's always different COs in the visiting room. I don't really talk to the ones in the visiting room, but like in the at the lobby when I'm checking in, and I will be like, or especially the day that I came out, and I was like, hey, so nobody told me that Chris Watts is going to be up there. I feel like that was like something that should be shared. And they're like, yeah, that's actually no. Like you'll see them when they're up there, but it's not our responsibility to tell you who's going to be in there. You should know when you sign up that, like, for a visit, that there's going to be people that do horrendous crimes in there. But it wasn't until that visit, I had been there multiple times before that. It wasn't until that visit where I was like, oh, everybody's in here at the same time. It's not just the intake people and then the staffed people, like everyone's at the same time.
Right.
So if you're staffed there, you can have 3 visits a week for 3-hour visits, Sunday through Saturday. And then if you're not staffed there, they call them reception. Intake is called reception. If you're there for reception, temporary stay, you can get 2 visits a week for 3 hours, and you can only come Monday through Thursday. And for whatever reason in my mind, I was thinking, okay, well, I would never see anybody that's staffed there. And like, just, I don't know. There was the moment where I was like, oh, so I wonder what everybody else in here did, because there's staffed people here. And I didn't know that. And then my person was like, you can tell by their cards. So their cards have one of 2 chains. They're not chains. You know those like that flat rubber or plastic that the kids use to make bracelets?
Yes.
Whatever that's called. If they're not staffed there, they had those holding on their cards, like their IDs. If they are staffed there, they had, like, it would look like pearls. I don't know what it was, just like it looked like pearls holding their necklace. So, and after I was told that, I would always like look and see who was staffed there. And I was nosy. I'm looking at everyone's cards because, yes, their ID has their picture, their name, full name, their DOC number, which for whatever reason people thought only has their DOC number. That would be so
I saw
stupid.
a comment where
Could you
someone
imagine
was
how
like,
messy that would be?
Yeah.
They could just switch cards.
I took a screenshot and I sent it. I was like, his name is on there. It's, like, she's not bullshitting you. Like,
Yeah. It also has their weight, their height, their hair color, and eye color on ID cards. Just like,
So I am going to pull up that image just so you can see it. Also, feel free to talk and chat to each other, guys. Just throw your opinions out there, what your thoughts are. If you've ever had experience visiting anyone in Dodge, feel free to share with us. We are open-minded people. Just be kind to each other is all I ask. So I'm going to show you the Watts photo where exactly what she's describing is what she saw. So let's really quick. I'm going to add it right here. And again, if you're just joining in, welcome. We are talking about Chris Watts' new wifey. And this is her, Lizzie Watts. Lizzie Watts. Credit for this goes to Crime Talk, Scott, who I am scheduled to do a live stream with on the 13th, the anniversary of the case. I'll let you guys know what time. We're still in the works trying to get that scheduled. But going back to what Lisa's talking about in this, we have the ID badge she's talking about. She's saying, there's pearls on it. If you zoom into the photo, it absolutely has his last name, Watts, large, and name is small. Date of birth, like she said, your height, your weight, all that is on this card. And as I mentioned, she's kind of using the term staffed. Now that means the person, hey, Kelly, we're talking about, you know, the person we were all keeping quiet. The person we were discussing in private is now out and about. And I don't think it's a coincidence. If you guys don't follow Kelly, she is the queen bee. She's been covering Watts forever. Please go give her a follow. She's streaming live almost every Friday night. Almost every Friday. Thank you so much, Sandy. I really appreciate that. That's kind of you. So yes, go follow Kelly. If you don't, she's Watts Queen. She's been on the island for forever. And Anaphylaxis is one of her moderators who is always amazing in our chat. And same with Kafu is one of her moderators as well. The CT page, and I don't see the post. What's the CT page? What am I missing? The CT page. Oh, Crime Talk. Oh, sorry. It's on his Facebook page. Or when this ends, I play a little bit of it. And if you're talking about you're on his page but don't see the interview, it's because we're still scheduling a time. I'm scheduling that time with his assistant right now, Anika. So we're in the process of that. So we are not advertising it until we have a time down. Right now we're talking about August 13th at 3 p.m. Mountain Time, but that's not the best for me. So I'm trying to get them to do it at 9 p.m. my time. Yes, the gang is all here. So yes, that collaboration with Scott will be coming up soon, this week, in fact. So yes. Okay, so you're doing a live stream tomorrow night, guys. So if you guys are new jumping in here and you just saw this, please tomorrow join us. Let's talk about this a little more. Let's dig around. Let's see what we can find. Kelly does extensive work on this case, guys. I can't say enough about the hard work she does. She did a 2-hour documentary on the case and spent a lot of time on it. So please go check that out. What I'll do is I'll pin it in comments after this renders and it goes live. But just for those who are joining in and recapping at the beginning of this, I did go over how you can request your own FOIAs because you pay tax dollars and you have the right to the information. So I recently asked for Watts's updated mugshot. There you see his Watts inmate number, 674796. That's what he goes by in the slammer. And then these are the visitation records, which we've all really been talking about behind the scenes for a while. And I'm going to be honest, none of us have really said her name out there. And I'm going to say this again to everyone. Thanks. Yeah. And like I said, guys, yes, I do have a background in journalism, but you do not have to have one to do this. It is public record. You pay tax dollars to find out whatever you want. When you are an inmate, you lose your rights. Like, that's why we're hearing all these Gypsy Rose phone calls. I actually just got into it with Ryan Anderson on his live stream on TikTok yesterday. He's telling me I'm getting a lawyer. Those calls weren't supposed to be released. And I'm like, Ryan, I worked in local news for 15 years. Any prison calls are open record. You're not suing anyone. And he's like, yeah, well, you'll see. I'm like, yeah, I will see. I'll see nothing because that's not going to happen. So anyway, guys, I will do a longer video and maybe we can do a live stream where we look up cases that you're interested in, and I'll show you how to do open records. But let's see. I hope his new wife is our woman on the side. I hope she invigorates his soul. Again, I will say this. I wish no harm on this woman. I'm actually scared for her that I feel like she's going public now when before she was hiding behind the scenes. And look at that rock. RC was able to, yes, only legal calls are private. And Ryan Anderson is not a lawyer. So, but a great example in Wisconsin, the reason we're not getting Chris Watts's phone calls is because they don't do recorded phone calls and release them. Some states are able to kind of pick the rules and laws that they want. Well, here's how we know, guys. There was a document filed where they wanted to get married. Also, Lisa, is that you? Is that you, girl? If so, I might be bringing you up on panel here in a minute. I just texted you. So, it may not be a legal marriage, guys, because from what I heard, the judge denied it. Okay, so this is Lisa, guys. This is the gal in the interview we're playing here. Lisa, I'm playing our old interview, and what I'm probably going to do is pop you up on panel here in a moment. If you're interested, you don't have to be live. You can just be a picture if you want. And I'll send you a backstage link. Girl, I don't think they're legally married, but she changed her name to Watts. She's going by Watts. So you can see, you can come up but no video. Okay, yeah. Let me finish playing our previous interview. And then I'll bring you up and people can ask you any questions they have for you, updated questions that maybe I didn't answer in this stream. So yeah, the calls are definitely being monitored, but in Wisconsin, they are not releasing them through open records requests, and they're allowed to do that. And each state, each prison system is different. So that's why you may not see phone calls for certain cases. It all changes and it's all different. So the thing is, Beehive, even if they're not legally married, she is using the name Watts. So for my opinion, it doesn't matter whether it's a legal certificate or not. It's the fact that you're walking around with a wedding ring and have changed your name to Lizzie Watts. So that to me, I don't care if you have a legal document saying you're married. That to me is she's being very public about her marriage to Chris Watts. Yes, and Dodge has a policy not to release calls. So that's why we don't have calls. We do have things like I can request a mugshot. I can request these phone calls, these records. This is how I was able to find out that Lisa was not lying to me about her visit at Dodge the day that Lizzie was there. This is how I was able to fact check that she wasn't just pulling one on me. So, and Lisa is in the chat. She's the gal here in this interview. If you guys want to go follow her, I will pin you for a moment. Go follow her. She's also a content creator as well. So let's show her some support. We always show each other support in this community, especially on Watts Island. Another thing, another content creator who was kicked off YouTube, hint, Rumble, that's the best I'm going to do. I'm not going to get in trouble for saying his name, is close contact with the Watts family to this day. Ronnie shows up in his chat, on his panel sometimes. They know about Lizzie. According to Dave, the Watts family asked Chris, do not get married. It is, yes, it's a really good idea. It is disrespectful. Yep, Kelly, I'll just pin that. I won't say the word out loud so that YouTube doesn't get mad at me. Has said, go there. Rumble is my hint. Rumble. Person kicked off YouTube. Is close with the Watts family to this day. Exactly. Yes. Has said they know about her and they think it is disrespectful for him to get married. They think it's disrespectful to the family. They said, Chris, you've already done enough damage. It is not appropriate to do this, to get married. Shanann and her family are suffering. It is not a good idea to do this. And, you know, just again to mention, guys, when I cover these cases, we're trying to do good things. There's not a foundation in the name of the victims, Shanann, Nico, Bella, or Cece. But the family asks that you donate directly to St. Jude, Lupus Foundation, or the Missing and Exploited Children Foundation. Just want to mention that. Those are the ones that matter. And we talk about these cases because we don't want crap like this to happen again. It's inexcusable. Don't understand why they think it's disrespectful. Does anyone know? I've got to tell you, I love the Watts family, so I'm not being a jerk. I'm wondering if this has to do with her race. I don't know. I can tell you all that I've heard from Dee is that they said it was disrespectful. They said, you've already caused enough of a shit show, Chris. Do not get married. And whether he did it or not, we all know the judge denied the petition for them to try to get married. However, no, go ahead and retype it. And in here, guys, we are kind. The Watts family, they are also victims. If you go and you watch the videos, they are very loved by those grandchildren, and the grandchildren loved them, and vice versa. All around. It is a horrible tragedy. And I've said this again many times, and I'll do it right now. When Cindy did her initial first interview, she was not able to speak with Chris while he was in Colorado jail and had no idea what he did. And at that time, I'm saying this again, please be open-minded to this. She still thought Shanann was the one who took the lives of the grandchildren. So imagine being angry about that and possibly saying some things you don't mean in a news interview. So let this also be a lesson to you. If you find yourself in this situation, don't do media interviews. Don't do them. I worked for the media. It's not a good idea. I'm going to ask you up and down, but don't do them if you're in connection to a murder case, not just in general. But it's bit Cindy in the ass doing that interview. I think she knows that. She said some shit that she regrets. And at that time, please remember, she thought Shanann had done what she did. It wasn't till after sentencing, the 2,000 plus pages of discovery, which has now been dwindled, thanks D.A. Rourke, was released, and that Cindy could take a look herself, which I don't even know if she did, guys, because maybe she was in a traumatic state. I still think to this day that Cindy is in denial and in shock. Well, what book? Because there really is no book. There was a woman who approached Cindy Watts to write a book, and then Cindy was like, you know what? I don't want to do this. So whoever she was talking with, Kelly, do you remember the name of the gal? I'm trying to think of the name. Cindy decided, I don't want to do a book. There is no book out there, guys. There was a book, but nothing. She decided, I'm not doing it. Change of heart. So some of the experts excerpts you have heard of the book shouldn't have been released because Cindy didn't grant permission for a book to be released. That's what I'm saying. So I think we need to be open-minded to that. And, like Kelly said, people need to give them a break. No one can understand what it feels like to go through hell, and they've been through it. It's very righteous to be nasty about them. And like I said, to both families are hurting. Both families are hurting. Okay. And for those who are like, well, the Watts family took money, the insurance money out. And well, the reason they took insurance money out is because Chris had them as the beneficiaries. So that is why Chris had to have his parents take the money out for the life insurance. The money could not have been taken out without the beneficiary taking the money out. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm not trying to be rude, but there's a lot of details in this case that people don't understand. Where is the locket with Chris's picture, not the granddaughter's? That speaks volumes. I mean, I can't explain. All I can say is go watch the videos, guys. They loved their grandparents and their grandparents loved them very much. You can see that when they're coming from the airport. Shanann and Cindy got along. They did. In the beginning, no, they did not. At the end, no, they did not. But in the middle, they were getting their nails done together. They were thriving together. There's visits. I mean, go for yourself and take a gander on Facebook, guys. There are videos up of Cindy Watts hanging out with Shanann. And another thing I want to point out, guess who was invited when Cece was born to the delivery room? Cindy. Because Shanann wanted Cindy there. She wasn't getting along with her mom, but she wanted some family to be there and to support her. And she had Cindy come. That's another video over on Rumble you can watch. I'm not going to take the video. That video was given to Dave. That's all I'm going to say, Dave. By Cindy and shared privately. And he has had permission to post it. Go see the video, guys. I mean, they're having a great time. They're a loving family. Please, please don't just look at all of the negative parts of the case. I understand you can have your opinion, but don't call the woman a narcissist if you haven't sat down and diagnosed her after sitting with her for several sessions. That's not fair. That's not fair to anyone. It's not fair to Cindy. It's not fair to anyone to be diagnosed. The only reason we diagnose Chris is because we have 4 hours plus all of the video footage from the interrogation and all of a lifetime of video that Shanann posted of their time together. Kelly says here, the Watts flew out to Colorado on a number of occasions, sometimes Cindy by herself. Exactly. To babysit the kids so she could go to Thrive trips. And she was at CC's birth. Her birth, guys. I didn't even have my parents in the labor and delivery room. And she wanted Cindy there. I mean, it speaks volumes. So before we cast judgment on what a terrible person she was, if she was so terrible, then Shanann wouldn't have her there. You know why? Because she didn't give a shit what Chris thought. Let's be honest. She made the decisions she wanted to make when she wanted to make them. And she even said that. She said, I'm the dominant one in the relationship. What about the insurance part are people saying is weird? And as an insurance agent, I can answer this accurately. Lisa, yeah, if you can type in here, and then maybe when I haven't even gotten to the rest of our interview, finished playing it. And I want to, because I think it's important to share your experience. But yeah, people think that like Chris cashed the money out and then gave it to his family. That's not what happened. They were legally on the documentation. So Lisa, maybe you can better explain how that process works when you pull the life insurance money claim. Would you guys like Dave to play the audio of Cindy? Yeah, recollecting her love on the grandkids. I played small clips of that, but again, people don't believe me. That's fine. I don't mind having a difference in opinions. I have a problem with people diagnosing Cindy. That's my problem. It is not kind to diagnose someone at all. It's not. And even if we had a psychiatrist jump in this chat right now, they would not ethically say anything without sitting down with Cindy. The entire family dynamic was very complex. Absolutely. It was. I don't understand why the Watts family would be offered insurance money. Can you explain? Well, because it was Chris's policy and they were the beneficiaries. So, for example, when you start a new job and you buy life insurance through your work, which he did, you put your beneficiary. For me, that's my husband. So if I die, let's hope I don't. Cancer tried to take me, but it's not gonna. My husband would get the money. He would need to be the one to pull out the money. My mom couldn't do it. My brother couldn't do it because they're not on the legal documentation. This is a legal binding document we're talking about. Benny read the documents and learned how it happened. What are we talking about? Sorry, Beehive. I might be lost. Okay, so let's just clarify what Kelly was saying, because I don't want people to misunderstand what Kelly's saying. Like I said, she is a Watts Island veteran. Like if we were on Watts Island, Kelly is definitely like a captain of a ship, and we're all just like passengers on it. Sorry I gotta be funny. You know me, I have to have humor. She said that wrong. Shanann and the girls were all covered with life insurance policy under the policy Chris had at work, right? Which was a very normal policy that employees are mandated to carry, right? Because let's say Chris had an accident at work. He fell off of one of the oil wells. God, I wish he did. Don't you? I do. Then, Chris falls down. Then the family would be set to pay for his funeral. Let's be honest, funerals are really expensive. I do feel like doing the whole burial casket thing is kind of going out of date. And people are doing more cremation. But with that, also, if you didn't know a fact in this case, Shanann and the girls had to be put in like a very secured casket because of the possibility of an explosion because of the oil. It's really sad. Okay, so Kelly's saying, so when she and Cece and Bella all died, the question became who collected the insurance money? Was it Chris Watts or the Ruse or the officers of the estate? Oh, okay, gotcha. No, they don't have to take money. But let's look at it this way. Ronnie, I do believe, was able to keep his job. But do you think Cindy was able to go back to work? No. Usually these people in crimes are harassed. And please join me on Saturdays. I have a show with an attorney named John Reif. And he has tried over 30 murder trials. And we have a show together called Partners in Crime. And we talked about the Watts case 2 weekends ago. And we talk about kind of all the details and the logistics of a case, how much it cost, all that kind of thing. And recently we were talking about victims' families and how they are harassed. Everyone talks about Shanann's family and how they are harassed. And I agree. They are harassed to this day. To this day. But so are the Watts family. So do you think that Ronnie and Cindy can really live normal lives? No. So if they have a couple $1,000 to get, I don't know, an RV and go travel in the mountains to busy their minds, I don't think that's such a bad thing, guys. Chris destroyed their lives. They didn't do anything wrong. They didn't do anything. They said in the sentencing, which I played the other day, because every time I listen to new audio in this, I hear something new I didn't hear for the first time. And in the sentencing, in the impact statement, Cindy says, I still don't know what happened, Chris, and I want answers, and I hope one day you'll give them to me. To this day, August 10th, 2026, he has not told his mother what he did. What he did is wrote a book with Sherilyn Cadle and detailed everything he did, and he told his mom, read the book. What a slap in the face. What a slap in the face to his mom. He can't even sit down and tell her what really happened. And I don't think people realize that. Didn't Shanann's parents get some money? Yes. They also got money for the Netflix documentary. And also, Frankie set up a fund to sue AD, who was also on YouTube, who got banned. When most attorneys, solicitors, whatever, I know it happened in the UK, but most of them would work pro bono for a case like this. So I don't know. I'm not even going to go there. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to be rude, but I will share a fun fact tidbit that I shared in another group I'm in. The Rusick family doesn't like me, and that's okay. They think I'm a journalist trying to dig around and get info on the case, and they were not happy I talked to Nicole Atkinson about her cancer, which is so funny. Tonight I was going to replay that interview because this week is my cancerversary. In 2023, I found out I had breast cancer, and a cancerversary is the week, day, whatever you found out. So I was going back and listening to an interview I did with her. I just want to share it with you guys, like what it looks like if you want to go back later and watch it. We shared our journey together, and she did an interview with me, and we became friends because I reached out to her asking her just general about her cancer journey. Like, just that's how our friendship developed. And it's a really good interview. She has a lot to say. So anyway, she does this interview with me, and the Rusick family was upset with her. I'm not going to go into detail because I don't want to break my trust with Nicole, but they were not happy. And they were not happy because they've always told Nicole not to talk about this case. Okay, first off, I don't understand why. I gotta check this time code. Can someone remember we are 22 minutes in?
A driver's license.
22 minutes in, that one. 22 minutes in. I'm going to write it here in the chat so I don't forget. 22 minutes in, because we're going back to that still. Lisa, we're going back. But I just want to share a small tidbit of this interview I did with Nicole Atkinson. And all we do is talk about cancer. To have you today, we are going to be chatting about post-cancer recovery and autoimmune disease and all health topics. And Nicole Atkinson, as you know her as everybody's friend that they wish they had. And I do want to say, today we are not talking true crime. So please be respectful in the comment section and do not ask any questions that are not appropriate. I'm going to go ahead and bring up all of the ladies. Hey.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me.
You're with Nicole because you are a breast cancer survivor, fellow breast cancer. So if you want to go watch that later, feel free. I just dropped the link in chat. All right. So after her doing this interview with me, they were angry, removed her from Facebook. I am not personally okay with that. That's not okay with me. Because number one, all she's doing is talking about her breast cancer and her domestic violence survivor story. She didn't talk about the case. And in the beginning of the damn episode, I said, do not ask anything about true crime. Do I not? I just want to make sure that you heard it. But Frank Jr. did not take the time to go watch the interview. Instead, they just got pissed and removed her as a friend on Facebook. And I don't know if they've talked to her since. But you did see video that Nicole just did a week ago where she says, I was asked not to talk about the case. And I'm going to say this, and it's not going to be popular. Why? What are you scared about her talking about the case for? Why? What is the problem with her talking about the case? You went on another YouTube channel and talked about it several times in a live stream. So why can't she go on her own channel and talk about it? Why can't she go on Dr. Phil and talk about it? I'm just saying, she's respected the wishes for 8 years. 8 years. She's done what she's asked. And I'm just personally not cool with the way she was treated. And sorry I went off on a tangent. We've gotten away from what we're even talking about, which is this. We're talking about Chris Watts' new wife. Oh, cool. It saved where we were, I think. No, maybe not. Okay, so we were at 22 minutes. We are going to get through this, guys. I'm sorry. I know I'm rambling, but I just have a lot to say and a lot to cover about all of what's been going down on the island for the past couple months. I just feel like a lot has happened. Oh, Kelly, you're right. He's not dead. So yeah, he's not the beneficiary. I misspoke. I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. You're right, you guys. My bad. He's not dead. Catching up on chat real quick. And while we're checking on chat, you guys take a look at that ring. How much do you think it cost? My daughter died and the boy that accidentally killed her was a good kid, but would never ask for any money ever. Interesting. Yes, Scott, Shanann's parents did get some of the money of that, much more than the Watts did, which is true. You won't be surprised to find out that it also made a video about that. It explains everything. So yes, guys, please go check out Kelly's page. At the end of this stream, I'm going to put a lot of links in the comments. I'm going to put the interview to Nicole Atkinson, and then I'll put Kelly's channel in there. I'll also put Lisa's channel in there because she's a content creator as well. And I will put Scott's channel in there because Scott is the one who has obviously hired a PI to go out there and get that photo. Just give me a moment, guys. I am just checking on chat, making sure you guys are right. I apologize. I did not mean like he died and yeah, I misspoke because I'm heated tonight. I apologize. The policy was the life of Chris, Shanann, Bella, and Cece. Their lives were all covered under the policy, not just his. Thank you, Kelly, for clarifying that. Oh, that's a weird face I'm making. Okay. You pray that oh, hey Muffy, thank you for coming in. No, you're fine. We're just talking about Lizzie Watts, his new wife. Watts should have gave money to Shanann's parents. I believe he did. He did. He signed over what's the word I'm going for, guys? He did. And he claims to Sherilyn Cadle that when he had that conversation, signed everything over to Frank, Frank said, "Thanks, Chris." And then Chris said, "I love you." And Chris claims he said, "I love you too." What do you guys think? I wish I could figure out. I think there's a way to do polls in here, but I can't remember. I would love to ask if you guys think that's true, that he would have said, "I love you." Another great creator who does awesome polls is Rabbit Hole Rocks. She does really great fun polls. A lot of Nicole Kessinger content. All right. The R's were completely fine with the outcome of the insurance money settlement. If they were okay with it, why can't you be? Good point. Good point. Yes, that's why they should have gotten all the money. It was their daughter, not Chris, that died. And I understand why you guys feel that way, but also the Watts didn't do anything wrong either. Cindy and Ronnie didn't do anything to Shanann. They didn't. Did she make some stupid comments on a news interview? Yes. The reason she made those comments is because she thought Shanann had taken the lives of the grandchildren. That's why she said it, guys. That is why she said all the things. I can't stand
color and eye color.
Sorry, I can't stand looking at that screenshot. That is why Cindy said the things she did. And she has done an updated interview with the other person I'm talking about again on Rumble. You can go listen to it for yourself. And she said she misses Shanann and she misses her grandchildren very much. But it doesn't matter. No one's going to believe her anyway because they have their opinion made up. That's what kind of sucks sometimes, is that people make their opinions and they are not open-minded to change. I could lay out 2,000 pages of facts and someone's going to say, "Nope, I don't believe it." So on the island, we have to be kind and respectful to each other. You know, just like push their tube away, but don't hit them with an oar. You know what I mean? When the Slayer rule comes into play, the life insurance policy typically goes to court and the money is distributed to someone who didn't take the lives of the insured. In this case, Shanann's parents. Great example. Ronnie Watts is cool AF. Anyone who hates the Watts needs to give their head a shake. The Watts family deserves peace. Each person in this tragedy deserves peace. You know who? Especially the first responders. The first responders who had to go out to the oil wells and retrieve the bodies. The detectives. The whole community of Frederick. And I often think about the daycare workers at Primrose and the classmates who didn't understand why their classmates didn't show up anymore. Everyone involved. Co-workers at Anadarko. Co-workers at Thrive. So many people affected by this case because of one stupid, narcissistic asshole, Chris Watts. I know they're okay with it because I read the documents related to the settlement that I obtained through a FOIA. Yes, he is a coward. Well, it keeps Chris comfy in prison, the insurance money, and that sucks. It absolutely does. You know what? Chris got exactly what he wanted. He wanted a new life, and he got it. Yeah, I know. I got to be careful what I say because someone's always listening. However, that's why I'm even speaking in code about the content creators we're talking about. But, I mean, if you're going to come after a small channel, that's sad. Like, we're a small channel here. We're not big shots. I'm not the people you need to be worried about. Chris didn't get any insurance money. Shanann's family sued Chris and won to make sure all the money makes around this case goes to them, not him. Correct. Okay. Is Cindy and running speaking to Chris now? Scott, I can't really answer that for sure. That would be a Dave question. Chris did not get any insurance and money, but by the time the issue went to court, he was convicted. Yes. Hey, Brett, thank you for joining tonight. Kelly, all right, you're going to bed. Sleep well. Thank you for all you do. You guys, please go check out Kelly's channel. This is her mod, Anaphylaxis. Okay, so Cindy had nothing nice to say about Shanann. She said Shanann made fun of Chris, calling him a skater boy, and that was her best story about her being evil. Well, here's the thing. If you're a mother, you never want your son to be made fun of. I personally would not be okay with someone making fun of my son. I'd be like, well, if he's such a loser, then why are you dating him? If he's not good enough for you, if he doesn't meet your standards, then go find someone else. So, I mean, a lot of mother-in-laws say things that aren't very kind, but like I said, when she said those things, she thought that the woman unalived her grandchildren. I really want people to understand that in the timeline and the facts of how everything played out. And I promise we'll finish this interview, Lisa. I mean, I might not be able to bring you up tonight because it is getting so late, but I'd love to have you back on again. Maybe like we could do something tomorrow. You let me know your schedule, and then we can kind of just dedicate it to doing a follow-up on everything we talked about in this interview. They act like they own the story and attack those who talk about it other than a few chosen. Absolutely. 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 Yep. New wife. Here she is. It looks like a class ring to you. Good night, coffee. Thank you for coming in. I really appreciate it. Britt. Yep. Yep. We have a new wife. So with that, why don't we continue listening, and then I'll kind of go through your comments if I need to like do anything like an emergency. tell you something, I'll jump back in, but let's continue the interview with Lisa. And she is in chat, guys. Please go follow her. She's a content creator. Lisa, feel free to put your TikTok or whatever you want people to follow you on in the chat, and I'll pin it up
on their ID cards, just like an ID, like a driver's license. So yes, and you know what they do with those cards? They sharpen the side of them so they can cut their food.
Wow. They don't give them like utensils or anything like that.
They can have plastic knives, but it's stuff that they have to buy. So, and if you're
I have to
in
imagine,
reception,
like,
you can't buy anything. What?
I said I can't imagine that you couldn't help but like look at his hands, you know, like when you're in there, because from what he said, you know, he strangled and smothered them, and it's like I'd have to imagine you were just kind of like looking at this man and being like, was he really capable of what he said he did? And we all know his story's changed quite a few times.
Especially when he's reading the Bible and you know what he did. It was so I don't know how else to explain it other than surreal and eerie, because I know what he did. And maybe other people just aren't as nosy as me, but I was trying to hear what they were talking about. I want to know what he's thinking. Like, I don't know. I'm just nosy. So the only time that I was able to hear conversation and was when I walked past them and there was Bible talk. And then at the end of the visit, let's talk about pictures that people really don't think they could take pictures. I have a whole bunch of pictures. I've taken pictures several times being at the prison, but I'm not going to share them because I am protecting the identity of the person that I was there to see. So, so the inmate can bring out a disbursement form. The prison gives them disbursement forms, and that means if they want to buy anything from the prison, they have to fill out the form with their name, inmate number, what unit they're in, those kind of things, and then they can buy things. So that just means that this disbursement form is their payment, and then later somebody in business management office will take that money off their books. So the inmates have to pay for the pictures. You can't pay for that. But they bring out these forms, hand it into like the CO station when they come in, and then you're essentially scheduled for a picture before you leave your visit. Well, Dodge is kind of like messy. Like they don't have enough workers essentially because like every time that I was there, they had different workers in there, and which means a new person had to learn how to use the camera and print it every single time. Like some of them didn't even know where we stood to take pictures in there, which was crazy because we would be like, we take a picture over here. Like it was weird. So whereas like almost every single other prison, they have the inmates taking pictures. Like they call it swampers. When you have a job in prison, you're called a swamper, and they have swampers working in the visiting room to clean up messes, take care of pictures, all of those things. But not at Dodge. The COs took the pictures. Maybe because it was Max, and Max is the only, like Dodge is the only Max prison that I've been in. So maybe that's how they do it there, but I digress. So the pictures are supposed to happen during your visit, and they're supposed to happen in like the first 30 minutes or so. Well,
is there like a scheduled time, or are people standing there and waiting to get their picture taken in line?
No, you have to. No, the CO will come and get you when it's time for your picture, because the inmates can't stand up unless the COs say they can.
I would imagine that would make everybody uncomfortable, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, people ask me if I was scared that he was there. No, I think his crime was targeted, and I don't.
Absolutely.
And I don't.
I wouldn't scare in a room to interview him if I had the opportunity.
I don't think that
I'd be freaked out, but not scared that he would hurt me.
Every single time I was there, I could know everybody's crimes in the room and not feel scared, because I guess crime could happen in the visiting room, but the person that I was there to see would protect me. I know that. There's COs in the room, but some of them are out of shape. I wouldn't entirely feel safe that they would be the ones to protect me, but I felt protected.
Well, here's the question I had for you, and which I thought was really shocking, that he did ask to go in general population, and Dylan told me, and I interviewed him, and he told me he's in general pop, and I'm like, no way, there's no way he would do that. And he's like, no, he is. He wanted to be in it. He wanted to socialize and all that. Here's where I think he could be in danger, is that someone on the outside intentionally got arrested, got put in Dodge, and then had someone come visit them, and the two of them plan a visitation and attempt to attack Chris, which I assume that attack would only last a few moments, because obviously the guards are going to get on them right away, right? But like you said, they're kind of out of shape, so it makes me wonder,
Yeah. Well,
that
okay.
happened.
Like, hypothetically, it could, but I think it would take some very mentally ill people to do that, because you're going to throw away your life to do that. You would have to hate him more than you love yourself to do something like that. And I'm sure a lot of people do, but the amount of steps that would need to take to get there, like, why would you throw away your life on the outside to get sentenced to prison where you're going to do at least a couple years? Because to go to Dodge, you have to be doing more than a year. And then co-conspire with another person to bring them in for a visit. Your visit would have to happen at the same time as his, which is, I mean, like, I was there probably like 20 times and I saw him once. So,
So
like,
your odds of seeing him are also slim too. So that would
yeah, because
necessarily
you don't know when other people are having a visit. That's not public information. I mean, like, you can see their list after the visits are over and maybe come up with some kind of plan of when about it would be happening, but it would be really hard to do because the people in the visiting room are generally happy. The guys are gonna behave. They're not doing anything to get them kicked out of visits, because if you did something like that at Max, you will be you'll be in 23-hour confinement, if not the whole 2-hour confinement, for who knows how long. The other person involved, the visitor, would have to be really stupid because now they caught charges. I don't see something like that happening. The more likely scenario is that somebody's already there with him and in the visiting room and is angered by the situation and attacks him in that moment. Not necessarily like this whole planned thing, but I don't really see that happening either, because so the reason that he was moved to Wisconsin, from my understanding, this is my understanding, do your own research, is that Wisconsin has like the lowest death rate on inmate crime. So he's safest here. There's not a lot of fights and killing. And so when you see prison shows, it is so far from what's happening in Wisconsin. You will not see Wisconsin on any prison shows. It's just not happening. You'll see plenty of Wisconsin court stuff and fleeing and eluding and racial stuff. A lot of police do not like their Black people. So you'll see a lot of that in Wisconsin, but there's not a lot of prison crime going on.
I just wanted to jump up here really quick and let you guys know, Dahmer did get killed in Dodge. I did interview Dylan Tolman. He was the inmate in the cell next to Chris Watts. Just going to pull up that interview real quick, and we'll come back to this. We're at 31 minutes into this one. Lingo. That's why I'm talking to Dylan. I'm trying to get the lingo down. So
I'm vaping. But
I'm just going to kind of say the highlights of my interview with Dylan. I asked him, did you ever hear Chris Watts reading a bedtime story out loud to the girls? And he told me no. I said, okay, I was just asking you that because he told people in an interview that he would read a bedtime story that he had memorized out loud to the girls. I said, did you ever hear them talking or him talking out loud and praying to the girls? Dylan said no. He said the walls are thin and I would have been able to hear it. I'm just going to play a quick bit of this and then I'm going to drop it in comments if you want to go watch it later. Yes, I understand that Dylan's an inmate. Could he be lying? Sure. But I don't pay for interviews. I don't do that. Real journalism, you don't pay for interviews. I don't know. Maybe other people do. I don't. He gained nothing from doing this interview. So
just
actually, can you vape in prison if you want? Or do you have to go outside and do it?
no, you have to sneak it in.
But
no
you
one's
can
sneaking in
smoke
the vape.
cigarettes, right?
No. No.
Wait, so I'm like hearing, covering. We kind of talk where you're like, I know that they're gonna do a background check on me and say no.
Oh, of course, just us. I'm like, well, if you fly out of Dallas and shoot that, you fly out of my life. And that was Christmas of 2020, and she flew to Dallas, and I ended.
And she did, yeah.
Yeah. Then I did the interview.
Well, and that wasn't the first time.
Then I did the.
I want to
Sure, I'm gonna go on there.
Okay.
And that's when I did the last
So
time.
let's go back to our interview with Lisa. If you want to go check that other interview out, I'll pin it later.
Yeah. I think there's like a sense of pride and ego you have to set aside as well. As obviously, if I saw him in person, that means that I was in the vicinity that he was in. So I was really struggling with. Like you will not see Wisconsin on any prison shows. It's just not happening. You'll see plenty of Wisconsin like court stuff and like fleeing and eluding and like racial stuff. A lot of police do not like they're Black people. So
yeah.
You'll see a lot of that in Wisconsin, but there's not a lot of prison crime going on, like literally at all. There's never really any fights. There's one prison which is right around the corner from where Watts is at. It's Waupun Correctional. They're both max prisons. Yeah. They're like literally right around the corner. And that prison is getting closed down because they've had so many deaths there, but like it's drug overdose deaths because they don't have any kind of like making sure they're checking to make sure inmates don't have it. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of corrupt COs there that bringing it in. So
I did some research on that. They're also like really understaffed. And, prisoners were complaining like we're actually not, you mentioned that being on 23 hours, well, you might not even get that hour out. Because if they're short staffed and there's no one there to keep an eye on you, you're just going to stay locked up. Yep. It is what it is, and no one cares, right? Because you're in prison.
Yeah. That's true. I think I got super off track. I was going to talk about what happened at the end of his visit, the day that we were there for the pictures. Yeah. So what happened was, his scheduled picture that he paid for didn't happen. And he went through the metal detector to check out, and I heard him tell them, he was like, I paid for a picture. I was supposed to have a picture today. And like the COs all kind of like looked at each other. Mind you, I'm nosy because the CO station is back behind me. So I'm like, what's happening
You're
over
like,
there?
"What's
I
going
want to know.
on here?"
My person is like focusing. I'm like, I will, because we have to get a picture too. So I just let me see what's going on, because if they're not taking pictures today, I want to know. I want to know that's why. So they're like, oh, if you paid for a picture, we'll get you a picture. Like, we could still do it. And he turns to the girl and she's looking back at them. This is like the second time I've seen her face through the whole visit, because I only saw it when I walked around, because I was like, who are you? What are you doing here? Are you crazy? So I'm nosy. And she's smiling and she was like, oh, good. And he comes back down our aisle, walks past me. And so he could go by her so they could walk over to the corner of the room where the pictures are taken, which was like an empty area that I think is where they used to have like a bunch of kids' toys and stuff, like puzzles. And there's only like a little bit of like, there's some Legos and stuff over there and some books still, but I don't think that they let kids go over there. And it looked like previously it was like a kids' play area. So it's just like an empty space on the side of the room. And so they went over there. Mind you, I can still see them because now it's on the other side of me. And I see them take a picture. And then they go back to their table and he was like, okay, I gotta go. And she went to get like another hug and kiss from him, because they did hug and kiss before he first went in. Let's make that super clear. It was a very long kiss and a very long hug, as long as you can be, because it has to be like 7 to 10 seconds there. So
Like a fake out, or like,
yeah, the tongue. Mm-hmm.
oh,
Yeah.
that's so weird.
Yeah. And then he's like, I can't, we already kissed. And then he's like, okay, I'll talk to you later. I love you. And she said, I love you too. And the visitor has to sit back down until the inmate is cleared back in. And then the staff will tell you when you can leave. So you pretty much are watching them leave until they tell you can leave. And then you go out. Actually, it's weird at that prison. The doors are literally right next to each other where you go opposite directions. But it's like 6 doors that you go through. So it's not like they could like run out. You have to be buzzed through all of them. So, and then right after that happened, the CO came over and got us and we went and took a picture. And I was like, this is just not normal. Like, I am not okay. This is so weird. And
Yeah,
I feel like I'm the only person. Huh?
No, like you're like, am I having an out of body experience, right? Like,
Yeah.
I assume everyone's like acting normal, and you're like looking around like, why is everyone acting like it's normal that a man who supposedly murdered 4 people is just walking around, like.
I think it's a situation of like, I had the thought during the day that I think while I was there, like, so I'm a content creator. I literally could make a video about this, but like, how do I prove that I was here, and how do I prove that I saw him, and how do I, like, a lot of people want confirmation of it because it's really shocking information to hear that he has a girlfriend. But the reality is, I know for a fact that he gets mail galore. I don't know if he still gets it now the same way that he used to, because he's supposedly with this girl. So I don't know if he's like turning away this mail or not. But as a narcissist,
that doesn't answer the mail. He still gets it, but because he's, well, like, I think he did try to get married, so we could call her a fiance too, because he's now in this committed relationship. He may not be answering like he used to.
But he's a narcissist, and I'm pretty sure he probably would respond to people like, so there's an address, you could look it up on Google on how to send mail to an inmate in Wisconsin, well, at Dodge specifically. You write their name, you write their DOC number, which is, you could look on the DOC website on what his inmate number is. I don't remember, I don't have it written down, but I know it starts with a 4. And then you write Dodge Correctional Institution, And the address that you send it to is a Maryland address. It is not a Wisconsin address because all of the DOC in Wisconsin has a company out of Maryland that does their mail for them. That means that people, this didn't used to be like this. You used to be able to send mail directly to the institution, but people were like soaking paper in drugs, and then the inmate could like eat the paper, you know, so, and other things on the paper, you could imagine. And even just perfume and stuff, but like bodily fluids, they would put it on the paper and then send it in, and it became a huge problem. So what happened is they started essentially making it so you had to send it to Maryland. And in Maryland, they open all of this mail, hopefully, with gloves on, hopefully, and have to copy it all. So all pictures and all letters get copied and then get sent back to the institution. So when I sent mail, I only live like less than a half an hour away from Dodge Correctional. Mm-hmm. So when I sent mail there, pictures, whatever, it took like 3 weeks for him to get it. So I feel like I have the address right here, actually. I feel like I could share the address. So if you do write to him, he'll get it. That's the easiest way to do it. They do have tablets, and I was thinking about this. They just got tablets last year, and I don't think they have the messaging out there.
I cannot believe he has access to Pluto TV.
Yeah.
So I did get an update, Lisa, since we talked. He does have his tablet now. He does have a tablet. Not cool. Feel free, double it to donate to my Venmo if you want us to get better cameras. Being content creators is not cheap. This program I'm using right now, StreamYard, is $400 a year. The FOIAs, where we request Freedom of Information Act documents like this and this, those sometimes cost money. Editing programs to make things like this cost money. Everything costs money. So if you would like to donate to my Venmo, since you so kindly made a comment about our cameras, please feel free to donate. We're more than happy to take your donation and use it towards better cameras, paying the $400 StreamYard. Yeah, no, Pep Chat, I think, like, Lisa, the funny thing is people don't understand how much it costs to do these things. And yes, that day we used our mobile phones, and the reason I did it is because I wanted to do it the way YouTube wants us to do it more. They want us to do it on mobile. And I said, all right, let's do it. Let's try it. So with this comment, please feel free. Even if you want to donate $2, it goes towards equipment so we can bring you better interviews. I am now using my GoPro. Again, another $400 item. So all of it is expensive to do so that we can bring you nice content. Yeah, I like that. Cowboy, you need to start a channel. You have a lot of interesting things to talk about. Go see if that's available. And if it is, grab it now. Grab it now. You and I could do a stream every week or bi-weekly. But yeah, I don't know if that person's just being funny or trolling us, but yeah, this cost a lot of money to do. It's not cheap. StreamYard is $400. My GoPro was over $400. Editing software is, a monthly subscription. All of this costs money to do. It is not cheap. So feel free, like I said, to make a donation if you choose. Yeah, I could, but I don't think people would do it anyway. I mean, I could. I think it's a good idea. I will do it. Anaphylaxis. I'll do that this week. I'll work on that. But yeah, I need a new microphone. We need a lot of new things to get this going. But actually, I'm hoping, we draw more people into the channel after doing the interview with Scott this week. He's very well aware that I'm a small channel. I told him, I know you gain nothing by doing this with me, and I appreciate your time. I'm just a former journalist looking to get my life back into investigating and reporting and doing that kind of thing. So, yes, girl, me too. Also, please let me know when you're available this week so we can do another stream together. And if any of y'all are in the chat or content creators, let me know. I like to do collaborations. I am all about supporting other content creators. I do this to have conversations with you guys, not to hear myself talk. Scott is great. And I told him up and down, I really appreciate you doing this for me. You gain nothing from it. So I appreciate it. I told him I'm just wash up journalist looking to get things back going. There's a story that's going to come out of this. Yeah, I think I just saw the Daily Mail went out 4 hours ago with this, but they don't have the photos that Scott had, which is cool. So thank you, Britt. I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate you. And this is why I do it, because I like to have discussions with you. And if any of you are building a channel, let's do it together. I'm here to help. There's room for everyone to be making content. There's no room for jealousy. There's no room for bullying. I get that the island gets heated because it's hot on the island, but we all have to be kind to each other and respect that we all have different opinions based on how we were raised, where we grew up, all of that. We can agree to disagree. Let's continue.
Yeah, they can watch Pluto. They have to pay for it. It's like $15 a month, but
Is there a limitation of how long they can use the tablets? Like an hour a day, or shut up? So he can just sit there and watch TV all day on a tablet. That's crazy.
So,
I mean, like, the freedom is insane. He's fallen in love again. He visits with her. He, is male. He's. I just feel like he has way too much freedom.
Yeah. Yeah, but so they just got tablets last year in either August or September. And I'm pretty sure Dodge was like one of the last prisons to get it, because Wisconsin implemented it a few years ago, and it was a progress to get them all rolled out. Now, each prison has done the tablet system a little bit differently. So some prisons only allow you to have it, from this time to this time. And then other prisons are like, you have a charger, here's your charger, you can have it in your room with you, which is how it is where my person is at now. they can have it all night, all day, all night. And they can watch movies, they can play games, not like exciting games. You got your basics like solitaire and stuff like that. And then but there's no interaction with outside world, like social media stuff, except for there is an app that you can use to communicate. You can text and send pictures. Like the outside people can send pictures in, they can't send pictures out. So when the tablets were implemented at Dodge, that messaging system was not set up yet. So it might be now, but it wasn't when my person was there. I was not able to send text messages. He couldn't send me text messages. So it might be now, but I don't know. The easiest way, if anyone wanted to write him, they would send it to the Maryland address. So
I feel like when they do implement the tablet emails, he will be busy all day long answering emails. The crazy thing is, when he was in Colorado, you could access all of his letters, because in the beginning it was part of the discovery. And those phone calls were also recorded, but in Wisconsin, they don't do that. So it's not.
They're recorded?
Like, well, not the public can't request the calls and listen to that like they could in Colorado. Like,
that's fair.
Like Mackenzie Shirley case, we can get access to all the phone calls by putting in an open records request. So it's interesting how he has definitely a lot more freedom than I think we hope he would have. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
In your opinion, you said you've kind of researched the case as well. What are your thoughts? Do you think he acted alone in this?
I think that he committed the crime alone. I don't think it was thought of alone.
Interesting. Yeah, he has gone down this road of, immediately I feel like he picked up a Bible. Like the second he got in there, and that's what a lot of inmates do, is turn to the Bible. That is just like ongoing joke. It makes me wonder if it's genuine or not. And then it also makes me think, like, could he possibly have been possessed? Because none of it makes sense to anyone. How you can go from being this family man, like, even when I watch the videos, he was instinctively like protective of the girls. Like when they're in North Carolina and they're running on the beach together, he like pulls them back from the waist. It's just like instinct to do something like that.
Right.
And I'm just,
that's why I don't think it was his plan. But I think he was very in love with her to do whatever she wanted.
absolutely.
So yeah.
And now he's in love. Nice.
I mean, it's weird. It's weird. It's weird. You couldn't have paid me in 2018. In 2018, you couldn't have paid me to believe I'd ever be in the same room with him. Absolutely not. Because why would I? Well, how would I have known, that he would have got moved to Wisconsin and that I would be in there during his visit, especially with the person I was there to see that person was never supposed to be there. So it was just so strange. It was so strange. I wish there was more people that did see him in there that had that experience also would share it, but I don't think that anyone in there. There's like 30 people each time. There's 30 visits happening at the same time. How many of those people are content creators that are going to make the video? Like, it's just not going to happen.
Well,
Yeah.
it's brave on your part because it coming forward with it brings a lot of criticism. People are judging you, saying, "Why are you there?" On your business, why she's there, and who she's visiting. It's then there's always people who are like, "Why are you still talking about this case?" Well, we're still talking about the case because a lot of people feel justice hasn't been served. And also, none of us can wrap our head around the why. Why not just leave? Like I was thinking about it the other night. Like he could have just left and not came back to the house. That never crossed his mind to just leave and not come back. Right?
Right.
Like,
It's weird. I also think that how much control I think she had over him. I think it was so intense that he might have been like hypnotized over it because they were naming their kid Nico Lee, which is Nicole. It's her name.
yes.
What?
And the family claims it was an Italian name, but I think they're just trying to make it look like they have more control than they actually did. I think that maybe for once, Chris actually allowed, or Shanann actually allowed Chris to have a say, and maybe came.
So I'm going to do something that some creators will not do. I'm going to admit I'm wrong after doing further research. Nico was an Italian name that they came up with to honor Shanann's heritage. So I take back what I say in this interview. Sometimes we say things that, we have opinions, right? But after further research, I did find where the name Nico came about. However, it is very creepy how many Nico Lees are involved in this story.
Hey, what about Nico? And maybe she was like, "Oh yeah, that sounds cool. Let's go with that."
It's weird. It's weird.
It is.
Oh,
There's so many weird things in this case that just are like shocking. Like one of the shocking things to me, I found out a couple months ago, is that Shanann and the girls are buried across the street from Chris Miller's house. And that was the guy she, did drive with. And like that is really weird to me.
One of the things that I learned, so I know a couple of people that work in corrections here, and one thing that happens is that they go to other facilities when there's short staff happening. So I know this girl that has worked with him, and she was the one who was like, "You have no idea how much mail that he gets." Like, and when his documentary happened, his mail doubled, and he would get pictures and money, and his books are full because if I was sending money in, I would never send him money. But if I was sending money in, I can only send in $300 a week. But the inmate can have multiple people send in $300 a week. So I do believe there's a limit on how much they can receive each week. But if you have everyone scheduled to keep sending you money, they can't even spend that much. They have a restriction on how much they can spend on commissary every week. So I'm not real sure why he's there and need all this money, because he's never going to get out. I also want to make a note that Wisconsin did have a new law that passed just this last April. It's commutation law that just happened which allows people to apply to get out early, no matter what their sentence is. There's some couple restrictions like SO cases, they're restricted, and mostly like child abuse, those kind of things are the restricted ones, but murder is not restricted. However, Watts does not qualify for commutation because he does not have a Wisconsin case. He has a Colorado case. So if people start to hear about that, it does not affect him. He's not going to be able to get out from that, which allows a lifetime sentence to get out after 20 years. That's what our new law is. It's mostly because we have multiple prisons that are closing because of like age and there's not enough workers. So several people have to get out from like the minimums and the mediums, and the people in max are going to move to medium, and the people in medium are going to move to minimum, and a lot of people are going to get out, but he's not one of them, for the record. He's not. He doesn't qualify for it. So just heads up there.
There's always some kind of rumor swirling every couple months, like Chris Watts got attacked, or Dylan Tolman spoke with me and told me, kind of like you said, he had so much extra money that he was like buying Dylan stuff, and then the Daily Mail turned that into they had a gay relationship because everything they buy, they write Watts on, right? So like underwear, lotion, toothpaste, all of that. He was buying because he had all this extra money, and then of course they scooped it up and twist it and make it look more sensational than what it really was.
I also know that he works in the rec room at Dodge, so he is responsible for like cleaning the equipment in the rec room, getting the stuff out for a rec, putting it away. So he has a job. He's a swamper. It's called a swamper. And that just means that he has a job. But so he probably makes like $1.04 an hour. Pretty sure that's what it is. And people also probably don't know that just being an inmate in Wisconsin, you get what's gay. You get money being an inmate. It's only like $5-10 a month, but you get money from the state because there's some kind of weird state law that says you have to be paid to like exist in the prison. So it's very minimal. The prison makes much more money off of that, off of each inmate. So, but yeah, we kind of got to wrap it up, just so you know.
Yeah. So the person you were visiting has never kind of chit-chatted with him at lunch or anything like that.
Mm-mm.
Is it because of personal choice or just because the opportunity wasn't there?
Because the person that I was going to see is not interested in making friends or talking to anybody in that situation. He just wants to do his time and get out. Like he doesn't care who anybody is. And I don't think that he's like a true crime person like I am. He knew about the case. He was well aware of the case. He knew who he was. He just was not interested in talking to anybody. He's not making friends with anybody, period. Doesn't care who anybody is. So yeah.
I think that's a good way to go into it and get out of it. I want to thank you for chatting with me. Can you also name your channel so that people can come over and subscribe to your channel?
I don't know what the name of my channel is because I don't use YouTube like that. But my TikTok is my main TikTok that 50,000 followers is Mrs. Lisa Johnson. And then I'm also on Facebook, but I feel like you have to like look for me because I have a very common name. So I have a couple different TikTok accounts. If you see my picture on there, it's my account. So yeah, I do have this channel is, I think it's like peptide something because I sell peptides online. That's why I work from home. That's what I do, make money online. I'm a full-time content creator. So I should use YouTube. Well, maybe I'll launch it after this.
Yeah, I'm going to send it to you and you're welcome to upload it and,
I'm just going to halt it there because it is getting late. Since our interview, have you gotten your YouTube up and going, Lisa? So as she mentioned, guys, you can go follow her TikTok account. I do want to show you some, if you look up Lizzie, this is on her own Facebook page. So those pictures floating around on the Daily Mail, they stole them from her own social media accounts, which is public, which I've never actually, this account has never been open. I don't think this is her page. This isn't. God, I feel horrible for even pulling that up. Sorry to Lizzie Henderson for doing that. They pulled up this photo of her. This one right here. This is her LinkedIn profile. I don't know why you would use this on LinkedIn. So Daily Mail stole her photo from her LinkedIn profile to make this. Wait, which pictures belong to them? I'm confused. Well, she has, her own photos here on her own LinkedIn profile. See? Yes, it is Lee. Isn't that weird how many Lees we have? Like, what? Okay, so this is her own LinkedIn account, guys. So this is where the Daily Mail took that. She's got it posted up for the public to see. Okay, this is the one. Okay. I've got too many windows open. Hold on. Adding to the stage. It is frozen. I don't know why it's frozen. Okay. Why is it doing that? That is so weird. All right, give me a second. I'm going to try to do that one more time. So she has a LinkedIn page. And I don't think she's updated it in a long time. Oh, you're not? That's not what you're talking about? I don't know what you're talking about then. I don't know what picture you're talking about then. So she obviously hasn't updated. But yes, she was living in Cleveland, Ohio. Again, this is all public record that, public that you guys can go look at. So she claims that she had a construction company, If you're wondering if I've reached out to her, of course I have. Of course I have. Okay, thank you. Of course I reached out to her. I asked her, do you want to share your story? I said, I am a former journalist. And girl, they took your fucking photos. Did they even ask you what photos you wanted used? Or wait, are you telling me they took these photos of you? Girl, why are you holding it out at me? Guys, they came and took pictures of you. Why didn't you tell me this? Okay, anyway. Oh, okay, the article came out today. Did they reach out to you, though, for your own comment? I'm just curious if they did. They did reach out to Nicole Atkinson for another interview. And she said, no, I do not want to do an interview. As she said, I don't want to do an interview. I don't have anything to talk about. I don't know anything more than anyone else does. So that's her stance on it. So yeah, that's her. Sorry, I was so confused what you were talking about earlier. All right, guys, I'm going to end it here. Kiddo's got school in the morning. So if you were new, just joining in today, thank you for being here. Please subscribe, give this a thumbs up, leave a comment where you're watching from. I'm going to drop a lot of links in this comment section. I'm going to post Kelly's page to What's the Obsession, Lisa's page to her TikTok, because that's where she mainly posts, the Dylan Tallman interview, and the interview with Nicole Atkinson about her cancer journey. You met them in person. Yes. Thank you, Olga. And like I said, guys, we do this so that none of these things happen to other people again. We care about the victims. They do not have a foundation in their name, so you can donate to lupus.org or the Missing Exploited Children Foundation, stjude.org, and you donate directly. Girl, I gotta go because it's like 12:18. But are you free later this week where we can do another follow-up stream? Lisa, are you free later this week? Let me know so we can girl, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Muffy, thank you for dropping in, and Olga, as always, thank you for dropping in. If you guys want to make any type of donations, my Venmo is down there on the banner, and everything goes back to equipment. That's why I thought it was so funny when that guy said, you guys need new cameras. Like, I would love a new camera. I would love one. However, I got to pay for StreamYard right now. And StreamYard is $400. And if you're asking why I'm using it instead of OBS or the other ones, it's because I have a show on Fridays with my friend Will. I'm going to just do a really quick plug for other content I do. I have a show with my friend Will. He is 411 now, and he has been covering the Watts case for a long time. We have a show together called Two Journalists, One Monster, and every week, except for this Friday, we are covering cases and, answering questions that people have to the best of our ability. It's called Two Journalists, One Monster. So my Venmo is down there. It's at Deadline Crime on Venmo. But please don't feel like you need to do anything anaphylaxis. You do like moderation and all that. So, I mean, I haven't made you a mod, but eventually. I only said that because the guy was joking about my needing a new camera. But I'm paying for StreamYard because I have this show with Will. And I just want to be able to conjoin putting material in one platform, and you can't do that with the other ones. I also have a show on Saturdays with an attorney. We spoke about the Watts case 2 weekends ago. This is John Reif. He is an attorney that I have just collaborated with. He interviewed. Well, I don't have a Daily Mail subscription, so you're going to have to share the article with me, but you can't. You're crazy busy this week. Can you do it this weekend? I got to go to bed. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I mean, I can try to, because then I would have to email to myself too. But let me see. Also, my phone is like dead. Let's see. Oh yeah, she's like grocery shopping. Okay. Let me pull this up. This is John Reif, the attorney, and we are partners in crime on Saturdays. Both of these shows are 9 p.m. Will and I are 9 p.m. on Friday. 2 journalists, 1 monster. John Reif and I, 9 p.m. on Saturdays. Partners in crime. So please go check those out, guys. Support the channel and all the other creators. I'm all about supporting other content creators. There's room for everybody. Okay, so this is what Lisa was sending me. That is Lizzie grocery shopping, getting herself some water. Okay, let's see who the credit. Oh, okay. Nathaniel Jones for the Daily Mail did take these photos. My bad. I thought Scott did, because Scott put his logo up there. So there's the credit for the photos. The photographer who took them is Nathaniel Jones on behalf of the Daily Mail. Thank you, girl, for telling me that. No, I'm just going to pull your comment up so I can clarify it. I assumed a private investigator was hired because I've also worked with a private investigator on things. I'm not sure who donated, but thank you. I'm trying to pull it up, but it's slow. Janet, thank you. I really appreciate that. For my future mic. Yeah, I do have a microphone, but I do appreciate that. Thank you, Lisa, for last minute sharing that. Thank you for that donation. Like I said, it all goes towards equipment to do this. And we've got 2 awesome shows going on now, Fridays and Saturdays. And I just got a message from Scott's assistant that we are good to go on August 13th. So I hope all of you will come back on August 13th. I'm going to have Scott with Crime Talk and ask him questions. If you have questions, please email me and let me know what those questions are. I am so honored and humbled that he has agreed to do this with me, because he's bigger than me. He doesn't gain anything by collaborating with me at all. I'm a small channel. So I really look forward to interviewing him and talking to him. And honestly, I'm a little sad that all of this came out the week of the anniversary. I'm sad about that. It takes yes. Okay, Ruth. Yeah, Ruth is who reached out to Nicole Atkinson, and Nicole said no, thank you. Nicole, if she's going to talk about it, is going to do it in her own time. I've told her she should write a book, not about the case. Nicole's been through a lot of shit. And I said, August 13th is just a chapter in your life, and you have to write a book. And you could write a chapter about what happened. You could write 2 chapters. But I do hope Nicole is a good friend of mine. I hope that one day she is feeling the strength to share her side of the story. And again, I don't understand why she has been asked to be quiet for 8 years. She said it herself. What are you afraid of? What are you scared of her saying? What could she say so bad that she shouldn't talk about the case? I'd like to know. Lizzie's brother's incarcerated in Ohio, and talked to the Daily Mail too. He told them where she worked, and that's how they knew where to look for her. Makes sense. Yeah, I figured either a private investigator. A lot of them reach out to entertainment things and stuff, and I have a PI that I work with if I need stuff too. Shocker, I know where Nicole Kessinger is now. I'm not going to make a video about it, but I was able to find out what state she's in. It's not Colorado anymore. Maybe she moved recently. The last time I looked in November, I know where she is. But again, I'm not looking to make videos and dox anyone. The only reason I made this video is because if she's changing her name to Watts, she wants people to know. So anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you so much again for dropping in this evening, especially if you're a newbie and got a lot of great things coming up in the works. And don't forget to go check out Kelly Watts the Obsession. Tomorrow she's going to have a live stream. And then eventually Lisa and I will collaborate again when she finds the time. She'll let me know. And I want to say goodnight to all of you. And please, if you even are touched by this case in any way, donate $1, donate $2 to the foundations that are important to these victims' families. Good night, guys.